Dear students, in continuation to previous lecture, we will prove some more properties of phi. Recall what was phi? Phi is function from Bn to Bn star defined by phi of t equals to t star, where t star is a conjugate operator of t. So far we have proved that phi is linear. Second property which we will prove is one-oneness of phi. Phi is 1-1. So in order to prove that phi is 1-1, we have to prove that phi t1 is equal to phi t2 implies t1 is equal to t2. Okay, so that we are going to prove. So let us begin with this argument. Consider phi of t1 is equal to phi of t2. This implies t1 star is equal to t2 star. This implies two functions are equal if and only if they have same values at all points. So this implies that t1 star of f equals to t2 star of f for all f in n star. For all f in n star, this implies that by definition of t1 star of f, or let me add one more step before I simplify this. So t1 star of f, this will imply, now this function is equal to this function, again it will have same values at all points. So t1 star of f x is equal to t2 star of f evaluated at point x for all f in n star and x belongs to n. This holds for all functionals f and all points or vectors of n. So this implies, by definition of this conjugate operator, we can write this as f of t1x equals to f of t2x for all f belongs to n star and x belongs to n, and x belongs to n. So this implies, the further simplification would be, this implies f of t1x minus f of t2x is equal to 0. Again the same condition here, for all f belongs to n star and x belongs to n. So this implies that, now use linearity of f. F is linear because it is in space n star. It is linear as well as bounded or continuous. So this implies f of t1x minus t2x is equal to 0 for all f belongs to n star and x belongs to n. Say this is statement star 1, or let me say this is first statement. This is statement number first. If T1x is not equal to T2x for some x belongs to n, then T1x minus T2x is not equal to 0, and there is, so this result we are using, and this result we have proved as one of the applications of Hahn-Banach theorem. So if functional has some non-zero value at some point, then we can find a functional f such that is functional f in n star such that f of T1x minus T2x is equal to norm of T1x minus T2x, and this will be non-zero as T1x is not equal to T2x, or this is non-zero as this vector is non-zero, so is not equal to 0. So compare this with this. This statement clearly contradicts first, hence this is not possible for any x. Hence this contradicts first. This contradicts first, hence T1x is equal to T2x for all x belongs to n. For all x belongs to n. Again, two functions are equal if they have same values at all points. So we can write that T1 is equal to T2 from this, implying that T1 is equal to T2. Okay, so we are done with second property, phi is T11. We begin with phi T1 is equal to phi T2, and we obtained that T1 is equal to T2. So this proves the second property, that phi is 1 1. Now third property, phi preserves norm, that is norm of phi t, which is actually equals to norm of t star, equals to norm of t. This is what we have to prove. So first let us prove that norm of t star is less equal to norm of t. For that purpose, consider, I am going to continue in this part. Consider norm of phi t is equal to, by definition of norm, this is equal to, better let me write, this is equal to norm of t star, and now by definition of norm, this is equal to supremum of norm of t star f, where norm f is less equal to 1. F belongs to n star and norm of f is less equal to 1. So this I can write as, this is less equal to supremum of norm of t star into norm of f, where norm of f is less equal to 1. The reason is quite simple. We often use this result, that norm of say any function, I'll call this as norm of kx is always less equal to k times norm k into norm kx. So this result we often use. We are using it here. K means t star and f means x. So norm t star now I can take outside, t star of f. So that I can take now outside. Okay, so norm of, we check the steps involved here. Norm of yes, that is correct, but in order that we get this equals to t star of f equals to f of t x, so that's what we have to use. This is correct, but it is not required here. So let me modify the proof here. This is equal to now supremum of norm of f of t, such that norm f is less equal to 1, and whatever result that I told you, now we can use this. So this is less equal to supremum of norm of f into norm of t. Norm of f is less equal to 1, since norm of kx is less equal to k times norm of x. So what this implies? This implies that I could take norm t outside now because it is independent of f. So norm t, and it is non-negative, that's why I can take it outside supremum. So norm t into supremum of norm of f, where norm of f is less equal to 1. So this implies that this is clearly 1. So this is equal to norm of t. Thus what we proved, this norm of t star is less equal to norm of t. So this is second statement. Okay. If t is equal to 0, then clearly we have t star will also be 0, and clearly we will have norm of t equals to norm of t star. So we are done in the case where t is 0. Let t be not equal to 0, then if for x dash is equal to, for x dash is equal to norm of t upon norm of tx0 where x0 is point in n, where x0 is point in n or vector in n such that t of x0 is not equal to 0. Why such a point x0 exists? Because t is not equal to 0. That's why such a point exists. Then for this choice of x dash, it is easy to verify that norm of this t star of x dash is actually equal to norm of t. So you can try to verify this, that norm of t star x dash is equal to norm of, I should be careful here, better I'll write in this fashion, norm of t star f x dash equals to norm of t, that you can easily verify by using definition of t star of f. Okay, so that will be actually f of tx x dash and f of tx dash equals to this. For clarity, anyway, you can try to verify it. T star of fx dash equals to what? F of t x dash. So for clarity, you can you verify this fact. It is just a matter of calculation. Anyway, now take into account two things. Norm of t star equals to this, and actually it is less equal to t. So this is what we have proved. But there is a vector or functional f such that at one of the points it has actual value norm t. So the situation is like this: supremum of some set is less equal to norm t, and actually there is a point where it is equal to norm t. Okay, so if you take into account second and third, then from second and third, let me write from second and third, it now follows that from second and third, it now follows that norm of t star actually equals to norm of t, that is norm of phi t equals to norm of t, and this proves that phi is isometry. So this was our fourth property or third property which we have proved. So far we have proved that phi is linear, phi is 1 1, phi preserves norm, that is phi is isometry. Let me conclude the proof by proving few more properties. We are left with two properties. So first we want to prove that phi preserves identity. Phi preserves identity. So you can easily prove this. I denotes identity in Bn, and I star is conjugate of I star is conjugate of I in Bn star. So if you observe this, let me write, for f belongs to n star and x belongs to n, consider I star of f x, this equals to f of ix by definition of I star, and this actually equals to f of x. Thus I star of f equals to f for all x belongs to n star. Two functions are equal if they have same value at all points. So I star of f equals to f for all f in n star. Hence I star is identity in Bn star. Bn star. Hence I star is identity, better I should write this as identity on n star. I star is identity on n star. So phi of I is equal to I star, and I star is identity on n star. This proves that phi preserves identity. One last property, I leave it as an exercise to you to prove that phi reverses products. So you can refer to the notes in the case you are not able to solve this. I have provided you detailed proof in notes, but first you try to prove it on your own by using definition. So phi reverses products means we have to prove that phi of T1 T2 equals to T2 star T1 star for all T1 T2 belongs to Bn. This is what we have to prove. So you try to prove it. It is fairly simple to prove this by using definition of conjugate. In case you are not able to prove, you may refer to the notes. Thank you.